Good evening and welcome to Portland Metro Records Presents. I'm Rob Wessels, and tonight I am so excited because a couple of my favorite people are here. Ms. Tracy J with her Slink bass,
Thank
and Mr. Rod Coleman. And these folks comprise the Groovebirds. If you have not heard of the Groovebirds before, you actually have, you just didn't know it. They're actually our featured theme song for our show, Portland Metro Records Presents Off the Record, each night. So it's kind of nice to meet the magic behind the music here. So how are y'all doing tonight?
Good, thank you.
Great,
And
great.
yourself?
Doing awesome.
Good.
And there's some good new music that's coming off the presses here.
There's a good new music all over the world nowadays.
Heck yeah, and we want to talk about yours tonight.
Right.
So you guys have a great new album out. It's called The Groovebirds Time It Takes. And there are some brilliant songs out here, and I wanted to talk about them. First of all, I'm always excited when there is real product brought into the studio.
Yay!
So yeah, CDs are still being made, vinyl's still being pressed, and it's good to see you guys have it going on.
Yeah.
So tell us about what went into Time It Takes and how long you all have been working on this, because I know it's been a labor of love.
Time It Takes, we started in the fall of 2016 and finished in the spring of 2017. Released it on May 8th.
Wow.
So it's been out about 6 months.
And you guys have gotten some great reaction getting to play with some touring acts that are coming through town. How's that been? How have the audiences been treating your music as you guys have hit the stage?
Well, they're there to see their bands, so but they're
Sure.
they're very cool with it, I think.
I think any opportunity to play is a good one.
Certainly.
You know, and so you learn something from other people or from just being up there, so it's good.
And Tracy J, you have been playing bass for a long time now.
That's right.
And as you
Almost time for the cane.
No, not at all. but your pride and joy has been Slink. And how did you come across Slink? How did Slink come into your life?
Well, I was lucky enough to acquire Slink at a place that's really cool called Portland Music.
Oh, okay.
And that was on Broadway.
Oh,
and
nice.
I got him a long time ago in 2011, long enough ago, and he was a special addition. And he spoke to me, and I was so happy to get him. And I'm pretty kind of a loyalist when it comes to playing. I figure I have so much to learn on him still that he'll just be fine for a while.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you guys have been touring around the West and the Midwest even. What have been some of your favorite spots to play?
Oh,
Lava Hot Springs was a great place. We played a gig at Lava Hot Springs, which was very unique.
Mm-hmm.
I found a place in Reno, Nevada called Studio on 4th.
Oh, okay.
And it's a fantastic place. Doug, the sound guy down there, is one of the best in the business. He's run the board for Rush and big acts, and he's kind of kicking back in this little place on 4th in Reno, Nevada.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's very cool, very state of the art, and they put you up on video and good times.
That's great.
Great
And
place.
what's been some of the other inspiration that you've found? Because like I say, you've opened for some national touring acts and been combined with some local acts. What have been some of your local acts and national acts that you've had to play with that have really kind of made an impression on you?
I'd have to say right off the top of my head, the Alvarez Kings. They're a band out of England, and they're great. They've got a deal with Sire Records. That's a division of Warner.
Oh yeah, Sire's a big deal.
They're some pretty good players. We met them on day 27 of a 28-day tour, U.S. tour, first ever for them.
Wow.
So they were pretty knackered, as they put it, but they were fantastic.
That's great. How about for you, Tracy?
Well, I like to collaborate. I find it really nice to collaborate with different musicians, like on projects, CDs, and whatnot, because you learn a lot and you get to grow as a musician. And also, I think there's so much talent in Portland, and anyone who has spent a little time around here, you know, a lot of people with immense talent go unnoticed, you know what I mean? And I think that for music, you've just got to really kind of do it because you love it and keep focusing on it. And let the music guide you, and then things will shake out how they're meant to.
Well, and you guys have certainly done a great job of that.
Never
I
give
mean,
up.
Some of your guys' collaborations have been just incredible, and you've been recording in a couple different studios, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
And one of them, you guys had some great stories about. Was it down in Eugene?
Probably Gung Ho Studio in Eugene.
Yeah. Tell us about Gung Ho.
Well, Gung Ho is fantastic, if for no other reason because of the engineer, Bill Barnett. He's worked with the Cherry Poppin' Daddies on their Zoot Suit Riot. He was in on.
Remember that
I
back
think
in the
he's
day.
been in on all of their stuff actually. But he's just so artistic. It makes the whole process very smooth. For me, I need that. He's an old drummer, so he points me in the right direction, and when I'm not, and it's just a great vibe down there, a great experience.
So he's a producer that tends to push you a little bit.
Yeah, he
help you grow.
wouldn't use the word producer, but he sure could be.
Certainly.
If he was inclined to wear that hat.
Certainly.
Yeah, he's good. He's really good.
And Tracy, since you've been together as the Groovebirds, what has been like the biggest leap for you growth-wise as a musician?
I don't know. I just keep playing, and I just have kind of a goal to be better than I am today, tomorrow, and keep on playing. I'm a student of the electric bass.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, and you're in a unique position too, because there's a lot of fantastic lady musicians out there. There's not a lot of Portland area ladies that are playing bass right now, and
There
especially
are.
commanding bass. I mean, there's you, Lisa
Oh.
Mann.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of good ones. I don't.
A lot of
Yeah, I
good ones,
wouldn't,
but they just aren't getting enough credit right now.
Well, I wouldn't. I wouldn't put I like to. Again, for me, it's kind of a road. I intend to travel it for a long time. So everybody you come in contact with brings something to your music, and if you're paying attention, you get a wide variety of sound. For me, it's a search for sound.
Yeah.
And it's the search for sound that I can acquire on this instrument, which is my chosen sword. You know what I mean? So I am fortunate enough to have the ability to study music in a day and age when, it's harder and harder for people. And I believe that if you're going to play music, you want to, I've always said, and this is, to me, music is the people that you meet along your road and journey of music illuminate the dark spots, the dark places in life. And in this day and age, there's so much dark that I feel it's an honor to illuminate it with some type of music. And music changes your perception of the world. It's scientifically proven, you know what I mean? Truly,
Yep.
that you can take something and change the way, like acoustic. Example. The first thing that you hear when you're born, or the first sense that you acquire when you're born is your hearing. The last sense you lose as you exit this world is your hearing. So a lot of rhythms based on the heartbeat, and it just evolves from there without going into too much.
It's great. It's nice because there's ladies like you, Lisa Mann, Ashley Luna. There's some great bass players here in the Portland area that just aren't getting enough notice. So it's really an honor to have you in the studio today. It's really cool.
Thank you kindly for your kind words.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
And in listening to some of the music that you've done in the past and what's come along, some things that stand out to me are there's a definite, almost kind of a jazz influence to what comes down in your music. And I know you've heard this comparison before, Rob, but you definitely have that Elton John vibe about your voice.
Oh, yeah, that's nice to say. That man's brilliant. He's a genius. It's really, to compare me with him on that level, it's absurd. But
yes,
I
it is.
appreciate it. I'm not saying. I'm just saying that.
No,
Hand me that cup.
Yeah.
it's just water in there, Tracy. I'm drinking.
But I think the timbre in our voices is a little similar at times, and it's probably the most of it. I'm also a big Bernie Taupin fan.
Yeah.
The
Talk about a
lyricist for
lyricist.
that band, the early band. I mean, yeah, they're Elton, D, and Nigel, man. They're just, to me, that sound is it.
So, I like a little different style. I like the Pretenders. I like
Chrissy
Jeanette
Hynde.
Napolitano.
She's guitar
Concrete
oriented,
Blonde.
yeah.
I'm into the Smiths was good. I like
Yep.
Joy Division. I liked, I grew up listening to like so much different music because I think that there's some advantage to being a latchkey kid. So I was down at the library, and in the library where I grew up had a downstairs record room.
Wow.
So I was down there, all
Digging
the
into
time.
vinyl.
Yeah, digging into vinyl,
Yeah.
because that's where you went. You had your headphones and your phonograph, your record player. You
Mm-hmm.
were all bad.
We didn't
Yep.
have a library where I grew up, so.
God.
I had AM radio. So
Yeah.
That's really
We
all
had
I
AM radio. That was new.
There was a radio station from about 3 o'clock in the afternoon till about 11 o'clock at night that used to broadcast out of Texas called the X.
Nice.
And you
Texas
could catch
radio
the
was
skip
bad.
on them on my radio where I grew up in North Plains. And then there was a station out of Hollywood, and they both played punk or new wave music. And so it was really funny because depending on which station had the better skip that day was the one that I got to listen to.
But
Very
there's so
nice.
much good music out. Like I like
Oh yeah.
I like the Alabama Shakes. I think they're great. I
Yeah.
like the Black Keys. There's a lot. There's good Portland music. There's all
Oh,
kinds.
yeah.
Even there's a resurrection of all the days gone by. New shoes. We just as we were. There's all
Yep.
kinds of stuff going on.
Oh yeah. There's
There's
great
old
stuff
guys
coming
touring
down.
again.
So what were some of the influences that went into your writing for this new album?
For me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, for me, I write on the bass, and I write it just comes from experience of what I observe in my life and in my day-to-day things. You
I
know
know
what
your
I mean?
songs are like your kids.
Yeah.
Rod, which song speaks to you the most on the album?
Off the
This
new,
new one?
album?
Yeah.
It's actually more of a B-side, probably. It's a song called "The Things They Never Told You."
Oh, okay.
I couldn't have written the song before I turned the ripe age that I am now. It's
23.
yeah, right in there. It takes a lot of past experiences into account, and I'm not really explaining it well, but
Oh,
it's probably my favorite.
that's great. That's awesome. And how about for you, Tracy? Which song really speaks to you off the album?
Well, I really like the song called "To Toppin" because it's a Magnus, an opus or whatever they call that. It's like a big grand song. But I'm also pretty partial to the title track because it's a dark song, and I always tend to have a little bit of a dark twist to my lyrics if one takes the time to listen to them.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Well, it's really amazing to have you guys here. I know you guys are going to be playing some music a little bit later, but
Play a tune for you.
yeah, there's some good things that are going to
We
be
got
coming
our
up,
friend
though.
Jon. He's in the studio with us today, and
Yeah.
he's going to play with us, and
John's
we're
gonna be
lucky.
here in a little bit. Yep. And so Monday, September 25th, you guys are going to be sharing the stage at the Analog Theater. And tell us the
Yeah.
artists that you guys are going to be playing with that night.
Band out of New York City called Moonwalker,
Oh, okay.
and then some local guys called the Welkin Dim.
Dim.
Ah,
Yes.
cool.
I'm curious to see what they sound like with that name. It almost sounds Welsh. The Welkin Dim.
That's awesome. And then you're going to be also hosting on September 28th from 5 to 6. You'll be at the Aloha Farmers Market.
Yeah,
the
for
Community
y'all.
Farmers Market.
Yep.
Yep, Portland Metro Records.
We
stage.
scratch around, play where we can.
That's a fun little spot
You
to
know?
play.
It is.
It's
It
so
is.
neat. It was funny because last year they had the guy that made the barbecue sauces as something duck pond or something like that. And so I was playing it just a couple weeks ago, and I was like, "Oh, where's my barbecue sauce guy?" And they said, "Oh, he's not here anymore. He got picked up by Fred Meyer." So
Nice.
you
Yeah.
just never know where these farmers market people are going to go next.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a trip. So we've got those 2 shows coming up, and you guys are our theme music for our song
Yeah,
for,
thanks.
for the season. And
Right, and that should be said that was recorded, was that also recorded at Gung Ho?
No, that was recorded at Way Out
Way
West
Out West,
Studio
yeah,
in
that
Portland.
was, so really quick, we have 2
Yeah.
CDs to be, now here's the, what would I say?
Shameless
Here's
plug.
the sell, here's the shameless sell. Groovebirds, Groovebirds, Groovebirds. So we did 2 CDs, we've released 2 CDs in 2015, or 2016, 2000, or what were
One
the
a
years?
year,
1 a year, right,
2016.
and so we had the great, a friend of mine has a studio called Way Out West Studio in Portland. It's kind of, he's very talented. His name is Stephen Bailey, and he's a great musician himself. We also had a player that came in, Jon Edmondson, who's a stellar guitarist and a great guy. He's over on Division, Portland Music. Go over and visit him. He's got some great stuff over there. We also had the opportunity to have a horn player in, Andy Rayborn, for our first CD. So we did 4 songs at Way Out West Studio, and then we shifted down to Eugene to Gung Ho. And we did our second album at Gung Ho Studios. John was booked, so we play sometimes with a band called Bees in a Bottle.
Oh,
And
okay.
they're great. It's Christine and Chad McAllister.
Yep.
They're also super talented people. I feel very fortunate to play with everybody that plays with me, as I am the newbie on the scene. With, you know
think
what I mean?
everybody's
As
a
I
newbie
see,
at some point
yeah,
or
I know.
another.
I am the weak link. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, for me, it's a learning thing. So a lot of the musicians have a lot more years and skills, so I like to learn, and they're great, and they helped us on this CD. And then we're working hard, saving for that next CD, because that's what you need to do.
Yep.
And hope to get John and Christine and Chad in the studio. We have Phil Carroll, who's our keyboardist. So right now we play kind of as a trio. We got a gig next week at Newport. We're playing the Newport Festival, right, on next Sunday.
Yeah,
And-
this won't be aired probably before.
Okay, well, whatever. We're just all everywhere, and so we have help, with a
Sorry,
little
Mom.
help from your friends,
No, that's
to
great.
quote the Beatles.
So to help you get that next CD made, where do they find the current music at?
Nice.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's
Don't quit
available
your
at
day job.
too late. It's available at Music Millennium, and also online, pretty much iTunes, wherever great music is
Spotify?
sold.
So for folks that don't know, Music Millennium, unless you're living in Rock, in the local Portland area,
Correct.
Music Millennium is one of the last vestiges of real music that you can buy anywhere.
Right.
Right.
You can go in there, find your vinyl, find your CDs,
It's a pretty
find
cool
your
place.
vintage rock
people.
posters. You can, I believe, you can even find equipment to play your vintage vinyl, from what I understand.
There's a little bit in there.
Yeah.
And you can hear a live show in there too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
they do-
yeah, we
they
heard
do
that.
live
I'd like
shows.
to play there sometime. That'd be awesome.
Steve
haven't
Earle
played-
a pop-up show there a couple
He
years
did?
back.
Oh, I
Steve Earle.
love Steve Earle.
Yes.
He's great. Right.
So,
So
yeah.
there you have it. There's a lot of good music, and there's a great hot dog stand down the street. You can get a vegan hot dog, and it's great.
So much local promo going on today.
Right.
I really appreciate you all coming out
Thanks
today.
for having
This has
us.
been just wonderful. I love you guys. Rod's like
Back
a
at
brother,
you.
and you're
Thanks
like
for
my big
having us.
sister. So appreciate
Big
you.
sister.
Appreciate you coming out. So the song you're going to be performing tonight is
Samson and Delila, and that's a song. John's going to join us, so we'll do it as a trio, kind of a nice gig. And that was a little bit of a dark song written, as I said before, an observation of life. Actually, yeah, definitely.
sweet.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for sharing it. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
I'm Rob Wessels. This is Portland Metro Records presents Off the Record. Be good to each other.
Off the record.
Portland Metro Records presents the Groovebirds.
Samson's life was Delila, whose beauty cut like a knife. The meaning of this big black hole is to fill it. I think we're out of control. The sadness from which I can't be free will take my soul in the end to a hell I can't see. Samson, you shouldn't have gone there. You were taken unaware. Beauty fades like a dull night, and sometimes life goes nowhere. You destroy that which you love to move on with your life, 'cause you can't get enough. But there is something you don't realize. You can never escape the darkness of your mind. Samson, you shouldn't have gone there. You were taken unaware. Beauty fades like a dull night, and sometimes life goes nowhere.
If it's a tech geek or a big freak or disaster in the heart of the day, if it's a news feed or a bad seed or another Moses showing the way, and if it's cold, if it rains outside, if the market's gonna topple today, if I'm bold, if my brain's on fire, if I'm walking in or walking away, if it's standing